This week marks 1 year since Hurricane Helene caused devastation across parts of the southeast. The storm hammered Florida, Georgia, and parts of the Carolinas, causing historic flooding, landslides, and destroying homes, businesses, and infrastructure. State officials estimate that the damage in North Carolina alone is at more than $50 billion a year later. More than 200 lives were lost, and tens of thousands of residents were displaced in that storm across the region. In Bulloch County, there were weeks with no power, a whole year of debris removal, and a GBI investigation. That was their reality post-Helene. WTOC's Olivia Wright has been following that reality and their recovery since. A year later now, leaders speaking on how this hurricane has changed the whole life of Bulloch County residents.
1 year ago this week, people woke up to a new reality. This is what they had to say.
I felt hopeless. Helpless.
Unbelievable. Trees are all down around the houses, but most of the houses are spared, and I'm just thankful we didn't have more loss of life than we did.
In Bulloch County, some neighbors described it looking like the end of the world.
There's no record of anything this intense in Bulloch County.
For most, they would have to learn to live with no power and water for several weeks. The emergency management director, Corey Kemp, had just started the job a few months prior. Reflecting on his leadership during Helene, he says there was so much the county was not prepared for.
People did not feel safe in their homes, so it was part of our job to get them out of their homes to a safe location. But after the storm, it was getting food, water, and ice here. People had no power for up to 2 weeks. It was trying to get the essential needs that people needed outside of just knowing that they're safe.
In this community, known for its agriculture, farmers in the area were facing their livelihoods being at stake with their farms torn apart.
It's my whole life's work, his whole life's work that even my grandfather and great-grandfather had planted trees on our place. They've all been, affected by this storm.
However, after following Bulloch County's Helene cleanup process, it's clear that the county's biggest issue to date is debris. The already understaffed Public Works Department, led by Director Dink Butler, would be cleaning up debris for an entire year. I caught up with Butler this past week to reflect on how trying it's been.
Started with the contractor, I want to say it was in early October. When the contractor actually started their pickup process, and then that took until sometime after the 1st of April to complete.
The process of hiring contractors to help clean up debris would become the next obstacle for the county. In March, we reported that the Public Works Department was under investigation. The Ogeechee Judicial Circuit District Attorney requested the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to look into unusual bidding processes involving two companies, Sand Creek and Duriso Trucking. Butler tells me that the county did not follow the usual bidding process due to the emergency. The investigation ended with the GBI said there is no provable intent after months of investigation. Bulloch County is now resuming work with Sand Creek with contracts already in place for this storm season. However, Butler says there is work still underway to clean up from Helene.
Matter of fact, we are still picking up some debris that was placed out in the right-of-ways.
County leaders tell me that Hurricane Helene shed light on how they could better prepare. Those things include contractors already being on call, having shelters prepared, and better communication among county entities. Reporting from Bulloch County, Olivia Wright, WTOC News.
We didn't know it at the time, but about a year ago today, more than 1 million homes and businesses across South Carolina were just about to lose power. Some didn't have it for minutes, while others were in the dark for weeks. I know many of you experienced that far too personally. Today, South Carolina utilities are looking back at what they learned from Hurricane Helene. It's a storm that they say they've never seen anything like. 3/4 of the state suffered significant damage, and 49 people lost their lives in South Carolina, as it was the state's deadliest hurricane in at least 100 years. Because of outages and the fact that they were so widespread, crews from as far away as Iowa and Michigan came to South Carolina to help restore that power. Utilities telling us that Helene changed how they prepare and respond to storms, in ways like planning for how they'll lodge and feed their own linemen as those weeks of work continue, and harnessing the power of social media to communicate directly with customers. Power companies from as far away as the other coast of the country that don't often experience such widespread damage from hurricanes say they now pay closer attention than ever.
It was a challenging storm. It truly was. mainly because we didn't think we were going to get anything.
We have to prepare every storm for the worst. I will say with Helene, most of us did not anticipate it was going to be to that extent.
This really wasn't an effort to repair our system, but it was an effort to rebuild it.
One action utilities all say they're not going to take in the wake of Helene is burying all their power lines. They say it's way too expensive to do that, and that burying lines isn't a silver bullet to prevent all outages and can even make restoration harder in disasters like floods.